Hi, welcome back to the WD warehouse. If you hear a forklift in the back, it's Friday afternoon and we're loading up some trucks. So, wanted to go over another product. I wanted to talk about birch, specifically yellow birch. And the reason that that's important is that oftentimes some mills will sell flooring just as birch. You have to understand that there's different kinds of birch. There's paper birch, there is western birch, and there is yellow birch. Yellow birch is stable and dense. Paper birch is soft and unstable, as well as the same could be said for western birch. It's a very important distinction because some mills, sawmills, will not separate their white birch from the yellow birch. As a result of that, you get a mixed product that some flooring mills then just call birch. And typically these are Canadian manufacturers, and it's important that that differentiation is distinguished. In terms of western birch, it is similar, but again it's softer and is less stable. Now we grade our birch, and again I'm going to show you these in pre-finished, but we do all of this in unfinished, importantly. Unfinished, but I'm showing you in pre-finished so that you can see the grain and the unique characteristics of birch. So I'm going to start out first with our select, and these are two small pieces of our select, and when you hold it to the light you can see that birch kind of has this sort of iridescent look to it. It gives it kind of a dimensionality that I particularly like. And I'll show you on this larger panel. This is a larger panel of birch. Now, when I move it in the light, you can see the sort of the iridescent look of the closed grain of the birch, and it gives it this unique flair, even in the select yellow, that is just absolutely fantastic. Now, we also do something called red birch, and these pieces are very unique. You know, it's interesting when people talk about birch, they talk about, or when people talk about imports, I should say, you know, they talk about exotics. Well, in reality, yellow birch is far more rare and much more, is far more rare than any of the supposed sort of quote-unquote exotics that are out there. Just to put it into context for you, 80% of the forest in North America is red and white oak. From there it breaks down to the northern species. Although the south does have some other species like pecan, but in the north then you have a variety of species that are thanks Tom that are that make up the species composition. Now in a northern forest, birch might be, say, 5% of the overall forest composition. However, yellow birch will only grow in what is considered an old growth forest, because it is a shade tolerant tree. That means that in order for it to succeed, it must have at least a solid canopy cover in order for it to succeed. Otherwise it'll get baked out by the sun. This selection, this is called red birch, and what we do is we select this out of the heartwood of the yellow birch. As you can see from this piece, it has an amazing color. It's a nice, beautiful, red, rosy color to it, and it also has this amazing iridescence to it, and you can just see the waves of light coming across that grain of wood. That's what really makes it unique. Now, not every piece is going to be like that. You know, here are two pieces that I just pulled from the table here, and as you can see, they both are similar in color, but this piece does not have that fantastic waviness to it. Now, in our selection of red birch, you'll get both pieces like that, and that's what gives it a nice contrast. Another grade that we do is what we call conservation grade red birch, and at least 50% of the board must be red birch. This would be kind of a typical sample of that, where you have red birch and the sapwood mixed together, giving it a nice color contrast between the different hues. Again, this is in our conservation grade, which is a long length character grade floor. Long length in that the average length is 42 inches. Again, I'm showing you these in our pre-finished. All of these are available in our unfinished as well. Now I thought I'd also show you this much larger panel of the conservation grade. Again, I'm gonna sort of float that in with light so you can see the light refract off of that board and really show the different grain and the way that the tight closed grain of that birch picks up the light. Going back to what is exotic, there is absolutely no species in North America or the world for that matter that is much more exotic than red birch, in that you are talking about fractions of overall forest type, and that's what makes it truly unique as a domestic exotic. Again, all of these species and all of these grades are available in FSC. In fact, we've done some terrific Minnesota Green Star homes in our conservation grade red birch. We did a beautiful 5-inch conservation red birch for a Minnesota Green Star home, and there's no reason to sacrifice look and design taste because you are going being environmentally conscious and going green. Again, thank you for coming to the warehouse, and thank you for your interest in WD flooring.